Hello everybody, welcome back to F1 Manager, and we are cracking on with Brawn in this one. Ignore the fact it says Brawn GP 2. If you're joining the series late, it was just a funny name. There definitely wasn't a Series 1 where it all went definitely wrong. But yes, we are 4th in the Constructors, 92 points as we go into Baku and Azerbaijan. A long way off the top 3, but very exciting news is that we have secured all of our staff for new contracts. We did that at the end of the last episode, and our drivers as well. Ollie Behrman has signed the new contract. Daniel Ricciardo is here for another year as well, which is good. Hamlin has renewed his contract, as has Paulo Rivera. So we're going to keeping all the team together, keeping the band together, which is very, very good. We did sign an affiliate just to tick us over and have one in here that we can, send to sponsorship agreements. That's the reason for having them in Season 1. But big news, folks. If we go into the driver market here and then look at all the top drivers, I used the mod database thing to go in and make sure that the grid lineups for next year are exactly how they're going to be for next year in F1. So Max Verstappen is staying with Red Bull. Lewis Hamilton is moving to Ferrari. Fernando Alonso is staying for another year at Aston Martin. Lando Norris is staying with McLaren. George Russell is staying with Mercedes. Charles Leclerc is out of contract in 2026, so he's got another year at Ferrari. That one doesn't really matter. Oscar Piastri is staying at McLaren. Carlos Sainz is moving to Williams. Sergio Perez is staying at Red Bull because his contract technically is till 2026 in real life. Valtteri Bottas is going, who knows where Valtteri Bottas is going. Nothing there. Pierre Gasly is staying at Alpine. Esteban Ocon is moving to Haas to be their number 1 driver. Who have we got? I've missed someone out. Yuki Tsunoda is staying at VCAR Red Bull. Obviously, we have Daniel Ricciardo. Nico Hulkenberg is going to Kick Sauber, as in real life. Alex Albon is staying at Williams to partner Carlos Sainz. Lance Stroll is obviously staying at Aston Martin to work for his dad. Kevin Magnussen doesn't have a drive for next year. And then we're getting into the people that no one really knows about because they're all too young. Obviously, we've signed Ollie Behrman, so Haas have an open seat to go along with Esteban Ocon, as is in real life. Ollie Behrman's going to be driving for them next season. And Kimi Antonelli has agreed to move into the empty seat at Mercedes. So that is going to be very interesting. I really hope you guys and girls and viewers are happy with that decision. But I thought it would add a little element of realism to there to have the driver lineups next year as they will be in real life in next year. So I think that is quite a good thing to do, to be honest. I do think it's a good little touch that you can do. I'll put a link to the how to use the database and get it all up and running in the comment section below or in the description below. So I'll just put you to the link where I found it and then downloaded it from, with the installation instructions and everything like that. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool thing to do, and it does allow you that if people nick your drivers, you can give yourself the money. You can give yourself the money because at the moment there's a bug in the game where you don't get the money and the AI technically aren't paying the break clauses. So what I've done is I've proved to you all there that I've used an editor to go in and change the future of the drivers' contracts and where they're all going to be driving next year. That also then means that if these people don't end up at those things, they've been poached by someone else. So we'll have to wait and see. But you can see there's varying buyout fees on the drivers and stuff like that. That's obviously different now. If I went in and tried to negotiate with Oscar Piastri, I would have to pay not this termination, not this buyout clause. I'd have to pay the buyout clause of his new contract that he's technically agreed with. Why does that say he's being replaced by Lando Norris? Have I got those the wrong way around? Lando Norris, I don't know what's going on there. But Oscar Piastri, he's not there anymore. Okay, that did just say, didn't it? Didn't that just say? Yeah, Lando Norris, contract agreed. I don't know. If it all goes wrong, I'll move drivers around and make it all work going into next season. But anyway, there's always the problems if you use an editor. There's always that risk. But we're going to Azerbaijan. The cars are all fixed. We're going to get into it pretty straight away. I think we can finish. See, we're not great around Azerbaijan. Do we go safe? Let's go a bit safer around Azerbaijan. Let's go 13th and 18th. I'll do practice. We'll be back for qualifying. Right then, here we are for qualifying. Practice went reasonably well. Couldn't get a great car setup. I never can in Azerbaijan. I don't know why I struggle so much to do it in Azerbaijan. But we are in Azerbaijan, obviously. What a stupid bit of commentary that is. We are in Azerbaijan and we are getting ready to go. Daniel Ricciardo will need a new ERS at some point. Gearboxes are doing okay. Still got a brand new one in there that he can use as well. Obviously, we know Ollie Behrman struggled a little bit more with his components, so this 90% one should get him to the end of the season, to be honest. It's not, and we obviously bought him a brand new ERS in the last race. Again, I think he might need another gearbox before the end of the season, but we'll see how it goes. But good weather. It was raining for practice, which is a surprise in Azerbaijan, but it was raining. But out into Q1, we are going to go. What can these two do? I do think I want to get Behrman out nice and early so that he basically doesn't crash into anyone. We'll get Daniel Ricciardo out there. The weather is apparently going to be nice for the whole thing now. It was only practice that was an issue for everybody for the rain. So Ollie Behrman crosses the line top, but Norris immediately beats him 2.5 seconds off the fastest. Ollie Behrman, what are you playing at, mate? That is not very good at all. Daniel Ricciardo 1.3 seconds off. I mean, we haven't been developing new car parts. That is something we have to admit, right? We've been basically prioritising next year's car over maintaining our high standing so far this one. But Ollie Behrman is very close to going out, which is a little bit of a concern there. We're going to send him out in that little gap, and then we're going to send Daniel Ricciardo out in that little gap. Yeah, Behrman down in 19th. That is shocking. Hopefully he can improve here. He is setting faster sectors, which is good. Yeah, that's going to be a better lap for Ollie. There we go. No traffic in that one. Up to 6th. That's more like it. Daniel Ricciardo is currently setting a green sector 1 and a green sector 2, so he should be improving as well. He should go faster than Behrman, to be honest. And you can see that's absolutely rocketed Ollie Behrman's confidence up to be peak confidence as well. So Daniel Ricciardo coming through in this fast run to the line. Obviously, Daniel Ricciardo had a very famous victory in Azerbaijan for Red Bull in real life. As Daniel Ricciardo is going to cross the line, and with the DRS open, he should be setting a quicker time than what he has done previously, and it should be a time that is safe, and it is up to 6th and 7th. Okay, maybe we do have pace in Baku. So Q1 comes to an end. It was Yuki Tsunoda and Fernando Alonso that jumped above us, and Max Verstappen went to the top of the timing charts, but 9th and 10th, I'm not too annoyed with that at all. I do think that's a very good session for Q1. Hopefully we can repeat it in Q2 with less traffic around as well. We should be able to actually put in some decent time. So I think we're going to see if we can time this properly and get out when there is going to be less traffic. So I think if we go after Leclerc there, we're basically out just in front of Max Verstappen, which could be absolutely perfect because Red Bull normally time it right. Behrman is going to catch a few of the people in front of him, but I think this is going to be timed wonderfully well, and I think it was, as Behrman does go 6th, 0.5 or 1.4 off Verstappen. He's so fast, Max Verstappen. It's absolutely ludicrous. But Daniel Ricciardo will be finishing his first lap as well, 8th and 9th. It looks like 9th and 10th, around 9th and 10th could be our true pace, to be honest. Okay, we've sent both drivers out for another flying lap, and I think we've timed this one pretty well as well, although Ollie Behrman is going to be basically racing with Charles Leclerc, which is a little bit irritating. But he's not setting a faster time, neither is Daniel Ricciardo. Yeah, I'm going to suggest he was racing Charles Leclerc there, so it probably is going to be 11th and 12th, maybe 12th and 13th, because Russell could arguably go faster than us as well. But neither driver improved, so it looks like we're going out in Q2. Russell didn't improve, so it is going to be 11th and 12th starting in Baku. And there we go, yeah, 11th and 12th. Yuki Tsunoda is going to get a grid penalty though, so we should be up to 10th and 11th. Q3, who topped it? Max Verstappen absolutely blitzed everyone, although did go a lot. He went 0.3 slower than his Q2 time. Tsunoda finished in 7th, Lance Stroll 10th, Alonso 9th, so yeah, it's Max Verstappen, 2 Ferraris, Sergio Perez, 2 Landos, I was going to say, 2 McLarens, Tsunoda, Hamilton, Alonso, Stroll. Was there any massive shocks? No, not really. Just George Russell, I think, going out is a bit of a shock that early. But here we are then, into the race day. We need to plan our strategies, and then we will be right back. Okay, we've got both drivers on similar strategies. They're actually pitting at exactly the same time and doing the same strategy. So we'll have to play it by ear to see who pits first. And it will be whoever is leading. In this case, Oliver Behrman's in 10th. So if that's how it is when it comes to the pits, he'll come into the pits first. We are going to underfuel the car again, but we're just going to go with one more lap than completely underfueling it after last race's misdemeanors with the fuel, let's call it. As Daniel Ricciardo, if you haven't seen that episode, just go and watch it. And if you don't watch the whole thing, go to the last bit of the race. And if you don't want to know the spoilers, shut your ears. Daniel Ricciardo is on for our first ever podium and ran out of fuel about 100 metres before the line. So technically didn't finish the race. Ollie Behrman was on for, I think, 7th, maybe 8th, definitely a points, and ran out of fuel about 150 metres before the line and therefore didn't get any points and was deemed as DNF. So, yeah. We're going to try and avoid that happening again. Obviously, Baku, very, very tight street circuit here. So safety car, probably likely of some description. But we shall see. Let's see how it goes. Brawn GP against the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And very excited to see how this is going to happen. And we've got, for the first time ever, I think, both drivers next to each other on the grid. I don't think we've had this before, where they've actually qualified right next to each other. I assume there's going to be a host of strategies on this, a mix of softs and mediums, yet lots of people all over the place. Into turn 1, and Ollie Behrman is the man that loses out to Daniel Ricciardo. Daniel Ricciardo, we know, can do the aggressiveness. As they're getting close. They are getting close together there. And, well, I mean, Ollie Behrman Daniel Ricciardo is on the soft, so that does make sense that he has got through. I'm not going to tell Ollie Behrman to ease off defending. I know we normally do, but I feel like we don't need to do that anymore. I don't think Ollie Behrman is that bad. He's definitely improving, so I think we're going to be okay here. So soft tyre runners against the medium tyre runners. Daniel Ricciardo and Ollie Behrman just switching positions off the line, which is probably something I'm happy about, given that Daniel Ricciardo is on the soft tyre. I think he'll have better pace than Ollie Behrman in this first stint. So I do think that is the way I would have preferred it to go. And yeah, it seems to be a decent start from both of the Brawn drivers. Yuki Tsunoda actually got quite a big grid penalty, 10 places I think. He's gone down to 17th, so he probably started in 18th. So both V-carbs are actually next to each other near the back. But yeah, at the moment we are keeping pace. Daniel Ricciardo is right on the back of Lance Stroll, who's on the back of Lewis Hamilton, and we're in a good position. We've actually dropped Nico Hülkenberg in the Haas behind us, so already opening up a little gap there, which is very, very good indeed. As we come to the end of lap 1 in Baku, Max Verstappen with a commanding lead already. Sainz and Leclerc out in front, Piastri in behind there, behind Leclerc. Perez is already a second off Piastri. Norris is right on the back of Perez by the looks of things. Alonso has some damage in front of Hamilton, and there looks like there's going to be a little bit of a battle coming down here. And hopefully our boys don't get too involved with it. But you can see we are right on the back of Lance Stroll, who is right behind Lewis Hamilton. So this could be a little bit of an interesting race up here, as Hamilton is trying to protect the inside there against Lance Stroll. And there'll be a big DRS train happening here. And both our drivers have DRS. No one going for any sort of stupid lunges. Let's go on board with Ollie Behrman, who's at the back of this little train, as Daniel Ricciardo is going to go around the outside of Lewis Hamilton and gets it done. Great move from Daniel Ricciardo there. Glad we get this. That was a mechanical fault for Hamilton. So he should hopefully be a bit of a sitting duck for Ollie Behrman as well. As Lewis Hamilton goes defensive, Behrman has a little look, but can't quite get that one done. If Ollie Behrman can get past Lewis Hamilton and keep up with his teammate, that would be pretty handy. We're actually going to ease off the battery, and Ollie Behrman's up the inside of Lewis Hamilton, gets it done into the castle section, and that is things on my list of things. That's on the list of love to see it. It really is. So Daniel Behrman is having a go at Lance Stroll as well. He's gone hard over the curb there. Actually pushed Lance Stroll a little bit into the wall, but Ricciardo gets it done. And he's now 2.5 seconds off Alonso, still battling with Lance Stroll. We could do with Lance Stroll being in front here so that we get the DRS, and I think that's going to happen. Because if we have the DRS, we're going to absolutely fly past Lance Stroll and actually allow us to keep up with Fernando Alonso. And I think we are going to get the DRS as we come through this section. We'll just need to take Ollie Behrman's battery off. And, right, we've just got our nose in front, but who? Yes, we've got the DRS. See you later, Lance. See you later, you Nepo baby. And that is lovely stuff. Ollie Behrman's catching him up as well, which is absolutely superb from our point of view. And I think we're in a good position now to sit here and see what we can get done. Hopefully Daniel can defend from Lance Stroll and Ollie Behrman can get a move done. Or Lance has to think. I don't think Lance even got DRS, did he? Yeah, he must have done. He must have done. But Daniel's... we're going to actually have to push Daniel here because I want him to catch up. I want him to catch that pack in front. So we're not going to worry about Ollie Behrman. We're going to let Ollie Behrman have his little battle with Lance Stroll. But Daniel Ricciardo is going to try and push on his battery a little bit more and see if he can catch up to this group in front. Because then he'll be on the tail of Piastri in third, technically. He'll be part of the DRS train that is in third position. So if we can close this gap, hopefully Alonso and this group in front keep battling quite a lot. We've got a bit of overheating going on both sets of tyres. Not a huge surprise here in Baku, but we just need to keep an eye on it and manage it. It looks like we're going to drop Lance Stroll from DRS as well as we're pushing this battery quite hard, but we are closing the gap. It's just it's down that start-finish straight. You need to get the DRS before that. I don't think Daniel's quite going to get that. Let's take him off battle assist and just tell him to go as best he can. Although Alonso has dropped out of DRS as well, so we're not going to be completely at a loose end here. Daniel's battery is dead, but I think if we push out of the first corner, we're just going to stay on board with Daniel for the moment, because I think if we manage this, I'm just going to have a quick look at Ollie Behrman, because he should get Lance Stroll in this section here. Daniel Ricciardo is actually closing the gap on Fernando Alonso just naturally, which is lovely, and he doesn't even have DRS, but he's already in DRS now, so we can go to top up with Daniel, which means he'll get a lot of charge out of this first corner and not deploy as much as he may need to normally. And, well, Ollie Behrman has got through as well. So can we ditch Lance Stroll with Ollie Behrman and get him up onto the back of Daniel Ricciardo? Just within that DRS range would be absolutely huge. If we can get both drivers into this little pack above, that would be excellent, because I think Daniel Ricciardo is going to overtake Fernando Alonso some point soon, to be honest. But I do think, yeah, is Ollie Behrman going to do it? Am I pushing the battery a little bit too hard to try and make this work? Especially when we got Lance Stroll behind us again. Ollie Behrman having not the best bit of cornering there I've ever seen. But, yeah, I think he may catch as we get into this section. Daniel Ricciardo will probably make the pass on Alonso, who's caught up to Norris as well. So this is all helping Ollie Behrman's drive here, to be honest. 1.4 away. I think we can put Ollie Behrman into top-up mode, and he can just ease his way along. He may still be in too much of a fight with Lance Stroll, to be honest, but because he's used up all of his battery now, I don't think he's going to quite close that gap. But certainly is a very good start to life in Azerbaijan for both Brawn drivers. I'm pretty happy as we stand at the moment. So unfortunately, Daniel Ricciardo... Leclerc's developed a mechanical fault, which is interesting. But Daniel Ricciardo just can't quite keep pace with Fernando Alonso at the moment. And Ollie Behrman can't keep pace with Lance Stroll. So I think we're just going to be easing this around. Lance Stroll has set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, by the way, which is just absolutely bonkers. But, yeah, I'm just a bit wary of the tyres. They are overheating on both of the cars. I mean, Daniel Ricciardo's got his back in now, but... yeah, it's proving to be a tough track. Alonso's got a mechanical fault. This could be very interesting for our race. Alonso's actually going very, very slowly there. We forced him wide as well. Daniel Ricciardo getting the elbows out. But, yeah, it's very interesting with this at the moment. I think we're going to have to sit in top up. We're quite far off Charles Leclerc as this is going. But, yeah, Ollie Behrman's just in a sort of world of his own. So I think we'll just let him manage his own race. Hopefully he gets the tyre temperature down a little bit, and then we can push a little bit harder again to make it work. I don't want to drop out of the points and get caught by Nico, who does look like he's gaining. But of course, Ollie Behrman is on the medium tyres as well. Everyone else around him is on the soft, so this is sort of expected in terms of race pace on these tyres. So Logan Sargent has crashed on turn 2, and he will not be having a drive next year unless... oh, that's a terrible bit of driving. Unless Haas potentially picking up... that could be a red flag. He's just sat in the middle of the road. Unless Haas decide to pick Logan Sargent up, he's not going to be having a drive next year. It's a yellow flag. It seems to have been cleared. Sargent is back on the road for everybody's concern. Ricciardo's up to 7th. He did overtake Fernando Alonso, and he has put a little bit of a gap between him as well. So, yes, keep going, Daniel. See if you can catch Charles Leclerc with his mechanical fault. And we'll see what we can do. But yeah, some interesting mechanical fault. Zhou, Iwasa, Hamilton, Alonso's in there as well. Charles Leclerc on an orange fault. Where do we see that? Is it lap history, cars? Charles Leclerc. Oh, it's his gearbox. That's not going to last for the rest of the race. Hamilton, it's his gearbox as well. Was it Alonso that had it? Alonso, his gearbox is running out. So yes, some interesting failures could occur in this race, and if they don't get back to the pits, it will cause a red flag. So we've absolutely blitzed our battery and got into the DRS of Charles Leclerc with Daniel Ricciardo. Only 10 laps gone, but lots of action happening in Baku at the moment. And yeah, I think Charles Leclerc is really struggling with that gearbox issue, and Daniel Ricciardo should have quite an easy overtake here going into the DRS zone down the start-finish straight. Ollie Behrman again struggling with his tyre heat, so we're just going to bring that down a little bit for him. But Daniel Ricciardo is up into 6th, and I think he's going to have enough pace to actually leave Charles Leclerc behind in his wake, to be honest, because he's driving really, really well, Daniel Ricciardo. And Charles Leclerc has that issue as well, although Charles Leclerc will get DRS here, so I think we will try and push away from Charles Leclerc using a bit of battery. But again, with that gearbox issue that Charles Leclerc's got, I think he's going to be out of our DRS pretty quickly. And then we can charge our battery up once we've pulled away. And this is the sort of area where it's quite easy to pull away if you deploy the battery correctly. So in fact, let's not ERS battle assist it, and it will deploy a little bit more and get a little bit more of a gap. And there we go. We're going to break it as we come around this corner. So that is nice, and he's done. Take ERS battle assist off again. He's broken DRS. Lovely stuff. Ollie Behrman, I think, is catching Alonso as well. But let's, well, it's been a great race so far. Daniel Ricciardo up to 6th. Behrman still in the points in 10th, being caught by Albon. But everyone's going to be pitting around the similar time. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this works in terms of strategy. Okay, so the first pit stops happened. Iwasa has retired, but Piastri's pitted onto the mediums already from his softs. That is, he must be going for a 2-stopper, because that is very, very early to pit. We're pitting around lap 21, so that's very, very early for there. Ollie Behrman did lose out to Alex Albon, but these guys are now just DRS hopping each other basically, and having a nice little ding-dong battle for the last points paying position. I don't mind it. They're having fun and racing safe and racing well at the moment. But yeah, Daniel Ricciardo 9 seconds off Lando Norris. Leclerc's issue has made him tumble down to 8th. So yeah, we'll see how this is going. Daniel Ricciardo's got his tyre temperatures back in where they need to be. Ollie Behrman still a little bit overheating, but not as much as they once were. So again, I'm happy with how the race is going at the moment. Okay, this is interesting. I've just paused it quickly. Max Verstappen has come into pit, and he's on the medium tyres. So he's going to be going, I assume, on to softs till the end of the race. Now, I'm wondering if we follow his strategy and get Daniel Ricciardo in now to try and perform a massive undercut. So Daniel Ricciardo's got a bit of time before he actually gets to the pit lane. Verstappen has a mechanical fault as he pulls into the pits, but he is going, yeah, onto the softs, and that's got to see him through to the end. So I'm wondering if we bring in Daniel Ricciardo now, because he's got no one around him. He's not getting DRS. His tyres are pretty good, but if we pit him and get a bit of an undercut on all of those people in front and put him on the mediums, is that going to work out better for Daniel Ricciardo? If we edit this strategy, don't push the tyres, but get onto those mediums now, it's saying it's 7 seconds slower. 7 seconds slower. But the AI is doing some pitting now. Or do we bring him in, we push these tyres a little bit more, we be a bit more aggressive. I don't want to be aggressive on the softs, they're overheating. Maybe Verstappen isn't the one we match, but I feel like it would be, is it stupid not to follow Max Verstappen? See, Max Verstappen, that means Max Verstappen's only run his medium 17 laps, and he's going to do softs all the way to the end unless there's a safety car. Do we run our softs a little bit longer? It's saying that is now the quickest. Yeah, lap 21, which is where we were pitting before. This is tough. This is very tough. Because part of me is like, follow Red Bull. They're going to have the best strategist. They're going to be... Max Verstappen is clearly quicker than everybody else. So the other thing to look at, and we're getting a bit technical on this now, and I apologise, a lot of you here probably just see races and crashes and stuff like that, but I'm a manager at heart, aren't I, doing this sort of stuff. The other thing now, if we pit him in, it's going to say a conflict of interest, but if we pit... Let's say we're going to go on to the mediums now, pit this lap. Estimated exit position is 14th. So come out of that. 14th is going to be here. There's a big gap to come out in for free air in 14th. There's a big, big gap. The other thing we could do is let Ricciardo stick to strategy and have good medium tyres at the end, which we know we can sort of push. They are overheating a little bit. Ollie Behrman definitely can't do softs till the end. So Ollie Behrman has to follow his strategy. Ollie Behrman has to follow his strategy. There's no way Ollie Behrman can't follow his strategy, because he literally can't maintain those soft tyres till the end of the race. But Daniel Ricciardo can if he pits now. I'm going to do it. We're going to follow Red Bull's lead. We're going to follow Red Bull's lead, and we're going to get Daniel Ricciardo in on this lap. And we're going to see if following Max Verstappen is the quickest thing for us to do. So let's have a look. Daniel Ricciardo will come into the pits. He's in the pit lane. He wasn't getting DRS off anyone. He wasn't. It's not going to cost him too much pace in terms of laps. So this is what I'm interested in. So Verstappen, yeah, coming out on softs, which I assume will be till the end of the race. Let's get a good view of this one as the change is being done. Onto the medium tyres. 2.4, it's a good stop as well. It's a very good stop, which is awesome. He's going to come out near Alonso, actually. He's not going to come out in 14th. He's going to come out in 12th. So I think that could be very, very nice. These do get to the end. So, yeah, I feel like, look at that, we're fighting the Aston Martin as soon as we come out. Nothing silly, Daniel. Don't be too aggressive. I mean, he's actually gone up the inside of Fernando Alonso there and trying to get the move done. So Daniel Ricciardo, pitting is done, and he should be on these till the end of the race now. Having a good old ding-dong battle with Fernando Alonso. Go on, Daniel, son. And we'll see if it works out. I mean, Verstappen is up in third and will be in a decent position. And if there's a late safety car, we can whack a pair of softs on. So it's not a loss. It's not too much of a loss, to be honest. And Ollie Behrman is just about keeping pace. He's actually caught up to Charles. Charles Leclerc is really struggling. He's not going to finish this race, Charles Leclerc. That's going to be a free position for Ollie Behrman at some point. And Ollie Behrman does get the move done on Charles Leclerc down the start-finish straight. Albon actually pitted behind him as well, so he should be able to drive away from Charles Leclerc. But a great view for that overtake. Love it. And Daniel Ricciardo's making the new tyres count as well. He has caught up to George Russell on lap 20. Obviously, a lot of people yet to pit, so there's going to be a lot of changes going on here. But Daniel Ricciardo chucking it up the inside of George Russell, gets that move done up to 9th and has already had a pit stop. So I do think we're in potentially a very good position right now. Yeah, both drivers doing very well. Happy with it. Charles Leclerc on the back of Ollie Behrman, but has that mechanical fault. Daniel Ricciardo will be closing up on those two drivers pretty soon. So Daniel Ricciardo has passed Charles Leclerc and is on the back of his teammate Ollie Behrman already, and is going to chuck it up the inside of his teammate. Oh, I don't like it when they do that, but they both have got that move done, and they are flying. To be fair, they're both absolutely flying. And if Daniel can drag Ollie Behrman round, that is lovely. I'm actually going to say, don't fight your teammate. We're going to let Ollie Behrman sit behind Daniel Ricciardo and just get pulled along by the DRS he's going to get. In fact, we can probably put Daniel in. If we work this right, Daniel can top up his back. No, hang on. You stay in neutral. You top up your battery, and you don't have battle assist on, so that you just sit behind your teammate topping up your battery and potentially drawing these tyres out a little bit further, which I think should work, because Daniel Behrman is naturally going to be slower than Daniel Ricciardo. He's actually nearly dropped off a second. The problem is we don't want this to be a second or more. Your teammate won't try to overtake, don't worry, understood. Okay, so the team orders are coming through to both drivers. Ollie Behrman has dropped out of bloody... Right, we're just going to leave him on... We're just going to leave him on what he needs to be on, and hopefully they can get that done. They can figure it out between themselves, because he's dropped Charles Leclerc, but he's also now doesn't have DRS on his teammate, which is the whole point of him staying behind him. But I'm sure they'll figure it out. I'm sure they'll figure it out. So Ollie Behrman just defending from Alex Albon here, but we are going to bring Ollie Behrman into the pits, although if Alex Albon goes up that inside there, it's going to be a struggle for Behrman to get into the pit lane, but he does. He was losing so much time on his used mediums that we had to bring him in for a stop. It's a 1 lap early, so it was meant to be lap 26, 27. He's coming in lap 25, going to 26, so he should come out in front of George Russell. He should, but no, actually, maybe not. But on go the soft tyres for Ollie Behrman. 2.6, not a bad stop at all. George Russell is going to pass him. So he's going to be out in 12th on the soft tyre till the end of the race. So, yeah, he's going to have pace. He's going to have some decent pace in these tyres. Oh, we've got a red flag. And it is Logan Sargent. Of course it's Logan Sargent. Locks up into the barrier. Car in the middle of the road. You can't park there, mate. Logan Sargent is absolutely shocking. It's a red flag, which means I assume everyone just puts on soft tyres till the end of the race in 6th and 12th. It's bad timing for Ollie Behrman. Really bad timing for Ollie Behrman, to be honest. Not too bad for Daniel Ricciardo. He doesn't have a new set of softs, but he does have a brand new set of mediums, which we could then push quite hard. That is what we're going to do. We're going to push those tyres. We are going to push those tyres. I mean, these softs probably could make it. They probably could make it, but I feel like going for the mediums and pushing them hard is better. Ollie Behrman will just whack on a brand new set of softs and he can carry on going till the end. So, but it's going to be a brand new race start. Leclerc is all the way down in 14th. It wasn't timed well for him or Alonso. But here we go then. The grid is reset. Daniel Ricciardo up to 6th. Ollie Behrman in 12th. It's not dreadful for both drivers, and actually going to give us a lot of ability for the old fuel as well. It's going to be a big help for the fuel. Hopefully then we can get some moves done. We'll stay on board with Ollie Behrman at the moment, as he's looking to chuck it up the inside straight away of Nico Hülkenberg. Up to 10th. He's back in the points, and he is flying on these soft tyres. We've got Stroll going hards, and then a mix of medium and softs. Yeah, so I think it all depended on what people had left. But Ollie Behrman doing a good job on these softs. He's got Nico Hülkenberg to his left, but he manages to hold him off. And there is, oh, that's a great move from Lance Stroll, just dropping it inside Yuki Tsunoda. And Ricciardo's overtaken Carlos Sainz up into 4th. This is excellent. This is excellent, but we're going to stay on board with Ollie Behrman at the moment, because these two, about half race distant, Logan Sargent crashed out. Oh, I thought he was going to get 2 there with a massive dive bomb, but great move from Ollie Behrman. He's got up into 9th. So maybe it was a good move for Ollie Behrman to actually come into this. We're just going to drop those tyres down. I don't want them to be too much. Behrman overtakes Tsunoda. Daniel Ricciardo's up to 3rd. Daniel Ricciardo is up into 3rd. He has got past Sergio Perez. And Daniel Ricciardo... Oh, they're very close. Let's see how he got it done. Was it going into coming out the castle? It was up through the castle section. Oh my word, Daniel, you are a bloody daredevil. What are you playing at? Daniel Ricciardo driving like an absolute god. And I don't mind Sergio Perez re-overtaking us there, because we're then going to get... Oh, DRS isn't open yet. DRS isn't on yet. But, yeah, doing a good job. Behrman is now overtaking Stroll. He's up to 8th. So, yeah, both the drivers absolutely flying at the moment, which is cracking for us. Now, I'm worried if we don't deploy our battery that Red Bull is just going to absolutely leave us for dead on those soft tyres. So we're going to keep it here, and then we should get DRS in the next section. Ollie Behrman is a little bit off Alex Albon, so we'll see. Now I think we can drop to neutral, because... Oh, is DRS not open yet? I thought DRS should have been open by now, but... Obviously, oh, there it is. DRS is open now, as Ollie Behrman has caught up to Alex Albon. He'll get the DRS there as well, so we can put him into top up, and I think he is going to have to run in standard. More for temperature than his degradation, but he also isn't the best at looking after degradation, so we'll see how this one goes. But Daniel Ricciardo still having a fight with Sergio Perez and Behrman right on the back of Alex Albon. I don't normally praise Logan Sargent, but maybe that was a well-timed red flag for us. Look at all these people down the bottom with mechanical faults as well. Absolutely hideous. Okay, we're sitting on board with Ollie Behrman, who is in a battle with Lance Stroll for 8th place. But we're going to try and leave him for a bit of dead here. We're going to try and just pull away, use our tyres, use our extra bit of fuel, and see if we can catch up to Lando. It's 3 seconds. It's a tough ask. But I feel like Ollie Behrman can do it. I feel like we can push and push and push. Maybe ditch Lance Stroll in terms of getting him out of the DRS. And see if we can push towards Lando Norris. 2.9, it is coming down already. We have ditched Lance Stroll straight out of the castle section, so that's good. Daniel Ricciardo's in a 3-way battle for 3rd with Perez and Sainz. Zhou is now out with a mechanical fault. Where's he on the racetrack? He probably can get back to the pits from there. Ollie Behrman, 2.5 seconds now he's trying to take out of Lando Norris. So we'll take off battle assist and just let him deploy and see what he can do. But yeah, pushing a little bit of fuel and a little bit on the tyres has allowed him to pull away from Lance Stroll quite successfully. But yeah, Danny Rick, we've got enough battery with Daniel Ricciardo, I think, to manage this until towards the end of the race and then go for a push. So yeah, this is good pace from Ollie Behrman. He's 2 seconds he's dumped Lance Stroll by there. Really good driving from Ollie Behrman. And Daniel Ricciardo's got the move done on Sergio Perez again. Those two are just switching position every lap. So it's really not too much of a big thing. We really need Lando Norris to not get DRS off Albon, and I don't think he's getting it at the moment, which is why we're closing the gap. Now, I'm fully aware we are deploying most of our battery, but once we catch up to Lando Norris, oh, he's back into 2nd of Alex Albon. I think he's clocked on to what we're doing, and we're closing the gap, so he's now deploying all of his batteries. Guan Yu Zhou's the 4th person to DNF in this race, as Ollie Behrman, I don't think, is quite going to have enough to close this gap to Lando Norris. He's trying, bless his little heart, but he's not quite going to have enough. And Lando's going to get DRS off Albon. What we need is Albon to hold up Lando Norris. But yeah, it's not quite happening. He's down to 11% battery, so I don't want to push it too much more. He's actually completely out of battery now. So he tried his hardest. We couldn't quite close the gap, and Lando's probably going to overtake Alex Albon in the next area. Anyway, so we stay where we are. Daniel's tyres are slightly overheating, but he should be able to manage them. And Ollie Behrman is managing his tyres very well in terms of degradation. So we'll see how this goes. Verstappen well out in front. Piastri behind him, 3 seconds ahead of Perez, who then has Ricciardo behind him. Sainz is behind him. Albon is 1.6 seconds back. Norris is about to overtake Albon. And with 15 laps to go, Ollie Behrman is 3 seconds behind Norris and Albon, but has a good gap to Lance Stroll on those hard tyres, which is such an odd choice. But there you go. It is what it is, as Daniel Ricciardo having a little look at Sergio Perez. Can't quite get the move done. I mean, if we deployed our battery out of here, we'd leave him for absolute dead. I guarantee you that. If we can just do a lot of battery pushing now, we will absolutely destroy Sergio Perez here, because we'll get the DRS, we'll have the battery, and I think we'll break a second as well. I do think we might even be able to break a second to Sergio Perez, who will just hopefully see our little rockstar rear wing completely disappear into the distance, because we had a lot of battery charged up. But we're in a good position where we don't really need to even drop Perez, to be honest. I don't need to be doing this with the battery. I'm just trying to also pull us along a little bit quicker. Because if we can extend that gap to Sainz, or at least Norris, and make it so that we're definitely not in a position where Norris can catch us, that would be brilliant, to be honest. So we're going to leave Daniel just in neutral again now. He has picked up the pace a little bit there. Perez has dropped Sainz, so Perez stuck with us, and Sainz struggled. So we've made it. If we can make it a two-way battle, although, yeah, that's Sainz coming slightly back in. If we can make it a two-way battle for third, I fancy our chances on the last lap, to be honest. Yeah, this is what I was worried about with Daniel Ricciardo. He's just been completely dropped now. Perez, Sainz squeezed both of us out in one corner, and it meant Daniel Ricciardo had to take such a bad line and get such a bad exit that he's been completely dropped by the two in front. However, Sainz does have a mechanical fault, so that might slow him down. But if it stays like this, we're pretty much secured on for 5th. The tyres are going to be fine. We can just lower the temperature on them a little bit. And yeah, we should be fine. I forgot I'm pushing Olu Behrman. He needs to be in standard. But yeah, drivers are doing okay. Daniel Ricciardo's battery management has been a bit crap. I wasn't really paying attention. But yeah, Behrman's sort of in a gap on his own in 8th. Daniel Ricciardo's in a gap on his own in 5th. So we'll just see. Hopefully Sainz' issue holds him up and drops him back a little bit, and we might be able to nick 4th. But I think for now, with 10 laps to go, 5th and 8th, I'd be very happy with. Lance Stroll is coming back at us with his less degraded tyres, but we're in a decent position. We're in a decent position. Oh, Carlos Sainz has crashed on turn 12 with 3 laps to go. Coming through the castle section, probably put the power down a bit too quick out of here. Yeah, clips the wall. Oh. Lando Norris very lucky to get past that one, but Carlos Sainz is out. He's not out. He's back racing, but he has got. I think he's going to retire, which will give Ricciardo a free gap because Norris has overtaken him and Stroll has overtaken Behrman with 3 laps to go. We just don't have the pace. I think I've pushed the tyres a bit too hard, a bit too early on. But yeah, oh my word, I've nearly made Ollie Behrman run out of fuel again. He should be able to get 0.4 kg back in 3 laps. Wow, actually, there's not that many laps to go, is there? Because I wasn't paying attention. But I really hope I haven't cost Ollie Behrman points again. I really hope I haven't cost Ollie Behrman points again. That'll be a nightmare if I have. That'll be an absolute nightmare. Carlos Sainz is coming in to retire the car, so Daniel Ricciardo will get a free spot there. There's 2 laps to go, 0.3 kgs. I think Ollie Behrman will be fine. And I think we're going to be in 5th and 9th. I don't think Hulkenberg is going to match, increase that. Sainz retires, so a free jump for Daniel Ricciardo and Ollie Behrman, which is nice. So yeah, we'll come back for the end of the final lap. So Max Verstappen wins the Baku Grand Prix by 16 seconds over his teammate. Oscar Piastri is going to come in 3rd behind Perez. Norris is going to come 4th. And Daniel Ricciardo is going to take 5th. Clap him home. Daniel Ricciardo with a superb drive in Baku. Really, really good stuff. And Ollie Behrman's got his fuel back in line. It's going to be a race to the line here. Hang on, because Lance Stroll might pip Alex Albon. He doesn't. It's Albon in 5th, Stroll in 7th. Albon 6th, sorry. Stroll in 7th. And Ollie Behrman home in 8th. Fantastic drives from both drivers. Double points finish for Brawn. Get in. Get in. So double points again in the sun of Baku. Daniel Ricciardo up 6 places to 5th. Really good. Following Max Verstappen's strategy did appear to work out quite well for us there. Ollie Behrman up 2 places to 8th. He was unlucky with the timing of the red flag, but made it up. Did a really good job. In the drivers, Daniel Ricciardo plus 10 points is now 12 ahead of Fernando Alonso, which is really good for him. Ollie Behrman actually drops a position because Lance Stroll jumps ahead of him. But in the constructors, we go in, well, we stay in 4th, but we break the 100-point mark, which is absolutely superb, and we extend that lead to 10 points over Aston Martin. Absolutely brilliant. Pit stop wise, we are getting quicker. 4 points Daniel picks up for us there, so we stay in 10th. We're quite far off getting big money from our things, but 2.4 seconds, pretty decent, to be honest. And both did ignore the fact that it says an X, ignore it says DNF. Both of them hit their targets. It's £1.074 million into the bank balance, which is absolutely lovely. It's really, really good. Next up, my home Grand Prix, Singapore, will be next. And we voted for the financial changes. Everyone voted against it. We're the only team to vote for it, to say the top 5 should get more money because we're going to be finishing in the top 5. But there you go. We look like the greedy bastards now, and that is that done. What needs replacing on car number 1? It's a front wing. That's easy. We have actually designed front wing 3. Oh, I could have put it on both cars for that race. It's going to be in place for Singapore, giving us a little bit more cornering speed as well, which is absolutely glorious. So both cars will have that on. How can you be unhappy with car performance? Oh my god, we're the fastest car. We're the fastest in high speed cornering. We're actually the 3rd best for tyre preservation. That shows how bad Ollie Behrman's tyre preservation is. But yeah, lovely, lovely stuff. What message haven't I read? The staff survey. Everyone will be unhappy. It always says unhappy. It's a bug. Ignore it. There's lots of bugs in this game. It's very depressing. But yeah, lovely stuff. Up next is Singapore. We've got a week to wait, and then we will be in Singapore. I will, towards the end of this season, be putting out a poll on the community channel on my YouTube page for Cultured Right Foot to say how many sprint races do you want in next year's season, because I can edit all of that as well. I'm not a fan of sprint races, but I feel like having a couple of them in could be pretty fun. But there will definitely be less sprint races and a reduced calendar. And then in the Discord, I'll have a little chat in there around what races do we want to get rid of and boot out and stuff like that. But thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. It's been great fun, this series. I'm absolutely loving it. Back for Singapore, my home Grand Prix. See you then. Cheers.